to my father, I will for my mother. Deal with.
Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Then like everybody now. Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now.
Honorable C-Note.
I come here.
Picture me putting my city all over the map. They wasn't believers, I had to get even in mad. We coming up, pulling up, jumping all over your grass. So tell them I got a new girl. Tell the police that I'm the bank and I want on my 50s in cash. Tired of living check to check. I need 20 models, this is smiling in my grave, fresh to death. I've been Wu-Tang with a spectral deck. Yeah, I got that I gotta just get off my chest. I cannot miss it, got last on my list and you next. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, but I think I might just skirt up. Blow the speakers and turn up. Pop up. Go to church with my shirt off. Tell the Lord that I'm here now. I've been waiting for so long. I've been patient for so long. Breaking rules like there's no laws, and I did it for a long time. If you don't like me, take a ticket. There's a long line. Nice to meet me. I think the pleasure's all mine. They've been clocking me so long, I think they lost time. Ooh, you lost. What you mean? Woo! What you mean? Woo! And now I'm just a so what you mean? Woo! Hold up, whoa, with the what you mean? Woo! Hold up now. Don't know what you think, compare me to. Adrenaline popping, the blood will be leaking and running. Yeah. I do what I do, I don't care if you like it or love it. Tell all of my I got a new girl. Wait. Yo, tell the police that I'm the bank and I want all my money in hundreds. I'm tired of living on the edge. I want it, they gon' call the feds. I just bought a cost an arm and leg. My mama told me take it back and get a job instead. Where's your common sense? Me and the devil got too much in common, I swear. Yeah. Born in the ghetto, I never had nothing to fear. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, so I might just throw a hissy fit. Call up Cassie after she broke up with Diddy, yeah. I told Shorty if she talking, and she gon' call her friends up and brag about we did. Whoa, I ain't in the talking, go chop off your lips. If I ain't in your top 10, go top 4 for bridge. My black boys like boys that knock off your lid. I thought y'all gon' pop off, so hop off my. What you mean? I said, what you mean? Woo! Listen, I don't trust her soul. No, I said, what you mean? Whoa, I said, what you mean? Woo!
You thought I was finished, you thought it was over. You thought I retired, you thought I went fishing with Kobe. I'm still as ill as considered as one of the coldest. Still a put a partner rapper here like Moses. I'm throwback like a molar roller. I'm cooler than a cup of yogurt. Black flag boy, truck soldier. I'm cool with.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Today, there's going to be a pair of wide receivers looking to make big plays on the field. It's Garcon's 49ers going up against Landry's Dolphins. With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State and to the newly renovated Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The excitement brewing here in South Florida as a moment ago the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the San Francisco 49ers. Hello, folks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and a moment ago, Larry gave us a look at the two #1 receivers that'll be facing off here. But you think it's more than just one-on-one? Both these teams, they've got a number of pass-catching options.
And I'm eager to see how both teams will attack the opposite defenses, because is it going to be where they're going to be a dart-throwing team, throw it short and try and make plays that way? Or will the long ball be a part of it? But you're right. Lots of options for both of these squads.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. The return will come from Sonoris Perry. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out now come the Miami Dolphins. They get set to go on offense. So you discussed their quarterback position, Charles, into the offseason. Last year, obviously, it was Jay Cutler. Many thought that's just a one-year placeholder. And Adam Gase says he envisions Ryan Tannehill being the guy next year.
I would agree with him totally, and I'd be surprised if anything else actually happened in Miami. If Ryan Tannehill is healthy, he will be the starting quarterback in 2018. They were so excited about his progress and so fired up about what possibilities existed for him in 2017 before the knee injury. Jay Cutler, you nailed it. A one-year placeholder. They did play David Fales a lot in the last game of the regular season to see what he had, but I think there will be competition for the backup job in Miami next year, but definitely not the starter.
A look now at the Miami offense.
I always find it interesting that when we have conversations about the best wide receivers in the NFL, it's not often that Jarvis Landry's name rolls out right in the first group. But when you evaluate what he does overall, his body of work, his ability to break down defenses once he catches the ball and gets downfield and people bounce off of him, then you realize he's one of the top guys out there.
Now Drake, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Tannehill now to throw. Now he'll let it go deep right side. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. Before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2007.
And got his man complete. Touchdown, 49ers. Pierre Garçon, 91 yards. And the Niners have taken the early lead. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator. Conservative would not go next to his name. Risk taker, definitely, because he valued the opportunity to create a big play against what could have been disaster if they end up getting sacked or fumbling the ball in the shadow of their own goal line.
Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Miami's offense getting ready to come back out onto the field. Take a step back, Charles. You look at the Dolphins in 2017. Look, they were 10-6 in 2016. Many people thought, wow, here we go. 2017, high hopes. They limped to a 6-10 finish, however.
Yeah, and you use the word limped, and it started with the injury to Ryan Tannehill. His knee in preseason, in camp, and then they decided to bring in Jay Cutler. That didn't work the way they expected to work at the quarterback position. Jay Ajayi was a Pro Bowl, well over 1,000-yard runner the year before. The chemistry wasn't right. He gets traded to Philadelphia midseason. And Jarvis Landry, over 100 catches this year, but yards per catch, well below 10 yards. So when you add it all together, not what they expected on the offensive side of the ball.
But expanding a little bit on Kenyon Drake, interesting year because hardly used early on, and Jay Ajayi goes to Philly, and he took over as the Dolphins' lead back after that trade.
And was never...
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Malcolm Smith in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10. And they brought the pressure there just right up the gut, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And, you know, when you've got so many different responsibilities as an offensive line, you got to deal with the nose tackle, the two defensive tackles or ends, and then sometimes you just can't account for everyone. The linebacker slipped free.
13 yards on the pickup, and all of a sudden here it's third down.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back to the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. As you and I were talking about off air, it was just a fluid game. Not a lot of penalties, just really clean play.
Exactly the type of game the NFL needed for the audiences at home watching the game and, of course, people in attendance. A really well-played game.
It fights him off. Airing it deep for Garcon. And that's caught inside the 30. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. Jimmy Garoppolo, the starter here, finally lured away from the Patriots. What are some things you like about JG?
Well, I love his makeup, meaning obviously he has a physical ability. He can throw the football, but he's mentally tough as well. And he developed while he was there in New England. They actually trained him to be a starter, even though he wasn't getting any type of snaps. And this guy adapts and thrives with the ability to play against pressure.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I think we saw some of the best qualities of Carlos Hyde on that run. Able to pick up something there, being physical running the football. But I think he's got really good vision and great feet. He's going to be the key to this offense really being revitalized.
And they're not going to get a playoff here as time will expire on this first quarter. 7-0 is our score, and we'll be back to South Florida after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the 49ers in control of the football, and they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. They run again with Hyde on first. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
The previous play was a nice run, so they came back with the draw. I think they were trying to fool the defense into thinking they would throw the ball and wanted to run it again. Unsuccessful, but this team is definitely showing they want to keep it on the ground.
Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
I can't say that I was really in love with the play call there. A draw in that situation, I know it's a risk-reward call. If it works, he walks in. But otherwise, you're bringing up a really tough 4th down situation.
Now Hyde. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Carlos Hyde, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the 49ers add on to their lead.
Well, we got a little bit of everything on that run. Offensive line creating some space, but how about the guy running behind his pads into the end zone?
What does that mean when a guy says running behind his pad?
Means that he's going to be a physical runner. That way he's able to use his shoulder pads, his forearms, anything to ward off people to power his way forward.
So that drive 7 plays in length, and it was capped off by a Carlos Hyde touchdown run. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Jakeem Grant now to return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis, some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action and hit them over the top.
Right back to Drake. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam to the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, "Hello, my name is Mike."
Tannehill with a hook up to Thomas for a Dolphin first down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Tannehill. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. On first down, Tannehill. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted, thrown back across his body. Reuben Foster picks it, and he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Switching things over, San Francisco taking over on offense here in just a second. And you and I discussed earlier when Jimmy Garoppolo became the starter, what a turnaround it was for San Fran at the end of the year. 1-10 in the first 11 weeks, 5-0 after that. Some momentum to take into the offseason.
And beat some teams that are acknowledged as good teams in the league, including the NFC West champion Los Angeles Rams down the stretch. So that was a big deal for them. Highest scoring offense in the NFL last 4 weeks of the season. But I loved last year's draft because they got good play from those guys. Solomon Thomas in the first round. Reuben Foster in the first round, the linebacker. Trent Taylor, wide receiver. And Akello Witherspoon, cornerback. Some building blocks as they move forward. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
On second down, Hyde. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And it is now 21-0. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And the Niners get there and bring him down. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we send you up to Orlando and with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Larry Ridley.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Dolphins trail at home at halftime. The 49ers will want to come out from the start. All right, let's do it. Here's a look at the first half highlights. First and 10. Garçon's going to haul in the deep pass. He gone as he sprints into the end zone as they take a 7-0 lead. 49ers have it on 2nd and 5. Here the pass would be completed into coverage, and he'll end up at the 25-yard line before being tackled. 49ers now later on the drive. Hyde's going to take it up the middle, and he counts off the 6-play drive with the score. As they move out in front, 14-0. Now 1st and 10. Tannehill's under fire and will throw the pick. Foster is the one who makes the pick to give a boost to his defense. Offense on the field now after the INT. He'll break free of the pack, and this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now Garoppolo throwing on second. Complete to the right. This is Garcon. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. He's going to wind up and air it out. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. Pierre Garcon, his second touchdown of the night. And the 49ers add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They'll start the time with Drake. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
And that's another stop for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
On second down, it's Drake. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll try the air now with Tannehill. And he's got the hook up with Anthony Fasano. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
6 yards here to go for the offense on second down. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, so it's great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Thomas. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Back now in Miami. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Second down and just 1. Now Tannehill. Fasano here brings it in. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. They'll run with Drake. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout. So it'd be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive as he's been all game long.
That's caught. It's Thomas. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Now Tannehill on 3rd and goal. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And Parkey's kick is good. And the Dolphins are going to be forced to settle for 3. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now Garoppolo. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Lawrence Timmons coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Garoppolo, and able to find Garcon. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. Back now on EA Sports. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So now here come the Dolphins. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today, coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
It's caught. Stills, right side. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Looking to throw. Garoppolo. Airing it deep for Garcon. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone...
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. Well, in this one, partner, we had some action all the way down to the final whistle there with the late points and then the kickoff to end it.
Yeah, and the best part about it is just seeing how teams battled all the way to the end, you know. Didn't really matter. The scoreboard was pretty well set, but they still competed until the final whistle.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From South Florida, good night, everybody.